This is Rugby Merlin and welcome back to the channel. So the teams have been announced for this hugely anticipated game this weekend, maybe second only to South Africa versus Ireland. But this one I think is a little bit harder to call, particularly in the first game, and that's for a couple of reasons. First of all, Scotty Razor Robinson has come in as head coach for New Zealand. Came in from an incredible run with the Crusaders in Super Rugby, but it's a different animal at test level, and he hasn't had a great deal of time to prepare, so it's gonna be a bit all hands on deck, I think, in the first test. And England as well, they have a bit of history together, in New Zealand and England, obviously. New Zealand having the better of the history overall, but New Zealand are always very wary of these English sides because England do tend to raise their game when they're playing New Zealand. So England will be definitely thinking that they're in with a shout in this first test. Maybe Robinson hasn't had the chance to kind of get over his message and his way of playing and really influence his squad in a way that's going to represent him as a coach. But to counterbalance that, I think he's gone with a lot of experience in his side. But still, in the first game, this is going to set up really his reign, or at least till the end of the year, how this first test goes. If it goes badly, then he's going to be on the back foot straight away, which he definitely doesn't want. So England, they got to be raring to go and chomping at the bit to get at this New Zealand side. Second reason I called the video Danger Zone is I think there's a certain area or tactic that the New Zealand have to be very wary of employing against England. England have established themselves, particularly with the Six Nations, where they did start their rebuild, as a great counter-attacking side, and that back three that they have are electric, and combined with Marcus Smith at 10, they could do some real damage if New Zealand's kicking game is not top-notch. So if they kick any loose balls to them and they allow England to field them uncontested and have a run of them, that could spell danger for them. So that's the danger zone for them. Make sure that the tactical kicking is correct and the best that it could possibly be, and otherwise I really think England could punish them. Saying that, there's so much experience in the New Zealand side, and they got to the World Cup final last year. Razor is very comfortable with the coaches he has around them, so I expect a good performance from them. Let's have a look at the teams. So front rows, De Groot, Cody Taylor and Lomax for New Zealand, very experienced, very solid in the scrum. Joe Marler, Jamie George and Will Stewart for England. I think New Zealand maybe could get the edge in a couple of the scrums, but England do have some experience to kind of shore up the scrum if needed, with old Dan Cole on the bench, who can do a job in the scrum definitely. Scotty Barrett as captain, he looks like he's not fazed by it at all. I think that's his personality. Tupulotu as well, partner him in the second row. Recently come back from an injury, but a great player. Itoje and George Martin. George Martin, who put himself about a bit in the Six Nations. I think he'll be excited to have a crack at the New Zealand lads. He's very young as well, big lump, and he's not going to be fazed, I think, by the occasion, so that's going to be interesting to watch. Finau, Savea and Papali'i in the back row for New Zealand. Very good mobile back row. They can all tackle well. Chandler Cunningham South, Sam Underhill and Ben Earl, who had a great season so far. That's going to be a great battle, I think. I think maybe they'll cancel each other out, because I can't see any back row really having an advantage there. One thing I will say for the New Zealand pack is that they've come a long way. They were in dire straits really kind of 8 months before the World Cup, and they weren't playing well at all. But the Crusaders coach that came in, he's really shored up that pack, and they're great now in the line out defense and spoiling, as well as in the scrum, but they're very organised. So I think they might try and put England's line out under quite a bit of pressure. So let's see how that goes. 9 and 10, TJ Perenara and DMAC for New Zealand. Alex Mitchell and Marcus Smith. That's going to be another great battle. Mitchell is going to test Perenara, but I think vice versa too. Perenara is going to want to prove that he deserves his spot in this side. He's worked hard to get it back. So there's a lot of points to prove there. So it's going to be very, very interesting 9 and 10 battle. I think kicking is going to be key. To me, McKenzie hasn't really proven himself at the top level at 10 yet. So it's going to be a big game for him too. Into the centres, you've got a very well established partnership with Jody Barrett and Rieko Ioane in the centres for New Zealand. Ollie Lawrence and Slade, again, pretty well established. With injuries, they haven't played as much as probably Borthwick would have liked them to, but still very solid partnerships on both sides. But the back three then is the most interesting to me. You've got Freeman, Furbank and Fewa Boso for England, and then Talia, Perafita and Rees for New Zealand. So very, very talented back three on both sides. Just a little bit concerned about Perafita's kicking game. He's a very good player, very skills wise. He's played a lot of 10, a lot of different positions, but at 15, let's see how he goes, because like I say, he doesn't want to kick the ball down their throat because England, I really feel, will punish New Zealand. So it's going to be a key point, I think, in the match, how that back three performs for New Zealand. All the talent in the world, but will they get it right tactically? Then the benches, a lot of experience on both benches. I guess Luke Jacobson, like he's the Neely man, really. He might come on and in the back row and have a good run. But Tom Curry as well will be looking to play. Slight Home is a live wire on the bench for England. He plays wing, uncapped so far. Bowden Barrett, though, as well, another live wire, fantastic player. Anton Leonard-Brown as well can come on. So, yeah, a lot of experience, a lot of talent on the bench for both sides. Will it make a huge difference in the game? Maybe not. I think they're there to cover really then as impact bench from what I can see myself. But who's going to win it? Predictions. It's a tough one, as I said. This is probably one of the toughest ones to call, I would say, just because we haven't seen New Zealand since the World Cup final, and they haven't had a lot of time to prepare. England, I think Borthwick has done well in terms of he tried to bring in new players at the start of the Six Nations. It went terribly at first, but he kind of made minor changes and it worked out in the end, and they had a few good performances to finish the tournament. Domestically, their players have had quite a lot of success, particularly key players like Mitchell and the guys in the back three, Exeter boys, Harlequins boys, Northampton's boys. It's a very, very tough matchup to call. Bookies have New Zealand as favourites. I think I really like Razor, so I'm going to say New Zealand might surprise everybody, and well, they wouldn't surprise because they're favourites, but I'm going to go against the grain, and I'm going to say England are going to steal this one. Maybe New Zealand to come back and give them a bit of a hiding in the second test once they get their heads on, but I'll go for England. There you go. I am a fan of that back three. I think that's the main reason why. I think maybe a lack of tactical experience at test level in terms of kicking at the 10 and 15 position for New Zealand might cost them. Hey, not a lot of time to prepare for the test, so I'm going to go England to snatch a dramatic victory and then to come up against it up in Eden Park. But anything can happen. That's the beauty of this game. Don't really know how the teams are going to perform. So yeah, let's wait and see. Can't wait though. It's going to be a cracking match. I'm really looking forward to watching it. Let me know what you think in the comments of my predictions, and yeah, cheers.